Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Brooke and Bill's compromising position. Taylor misunderstands close moment. The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, might find herself in the same boat as her daughter sooner or later. B&B fans know Hope Logan, Annika Noel, tripped and fell onto John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, while wearing lingerie, but Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Massinswood, got the wrong idea. All it took was one look at that scandalous scene, and Steffy was ready to end Hope's line for good. In fact, Steffy banished Hope from Forrester Creations altogether and has no intention of changing her mind. Brooke keeps trying to convince Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K., that it was a big misunderstanding, but he's just not buying it. Since the show keeps playing up how Hope and Brooke are just alike, maybe Brooke will land in a compromising position of her own. Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, recently opened up to Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, about Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, falling for Katie Logan's Heather Tom's sister. Katie was devastated during that difficult chapter of her life. Since there's been so much talk about Bill and Brooke's history, they could be on the verge of revisiting it. At least it could seem that way. There might be some situation where Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, witnesses a close moment and interprets it the wrong way. For example, Bill might stop by Forrester Creations on Spencer Publications business, or perhaps to visit Will one day. That could lead to Bill speaking with Brooke behind closed doors. It's easy to imagine a wacky situation where Brooke hugs Bill and gets her necklace caught on his collar or something along those lines. It might look like Bill and Brooke are making out from Taylor's perspective in the doorway. Then again, maybe Brooke could spill a beverage on her sweater and look like she's stripping down for passion with Bill when Taylor appears. Unlike Steffy and how she handled things with Hope, Taylor might snap pics instead of confronting Brooke. Maybe Taylor could go running straight to Ridge with proof that Brooke is still willing to throw herself at other men. Whatever the case, our predictions point to Taylor making trouble for Ridge and Brooke in the coming weeks. It also sounds like Brooke and Bill may drift back toward each other for a fresh story, so we'll bring you updates on any reunion news ahead. In the sunlit Forrester Creations office, the air was thick with the lingering tension from recent events. Brooke Logan stood near the expansive glass windows, watching Los Angeles skyline with a thoughtful look. Her mind was tangled with thoughts of her complicated relationship with Ridge and the decisions she had made to keep her heart intact. It was exhausting, yet her connection with Ridge felt unbreakable. But lately, her conversations with Bill Spencer were becoming a regular occurrence, and today he was there again. Bill had entered the room with his usual confidence, the scent of his cologne trailing behind him as he approached her. There was an undeniable spark between them, and the shared history made their encounters feel charged in ways neither could ignore. He watched her carefully, noticing the furrow of worry etched on her face. "Brooke," he said, his voice smooth and low. "You look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Everything okay?" Brooke turned, her guarded expression softening. She let out a sigh, knowing he wouldn't judge her. "It's Ridge. I love him, but everything's complicated. He's been spending a lot of time with Taylor, and I can't help but wonder if that's where his heart truly is." Bill's blue eyes softened as he stepped closer. "You don't deserve to be someone's second choice, Brooke," he said. "Ridge should be showing you every day that you're his first and only." She laughed softly, a mix of gratitude and disbelief in her eyes. "That's kind of you to say. But Ridge, he's a man of mixed emotions. I feel like he's always torn between me and Taylor." Bill tilted his head, taking her hand gently. "Brooke, you're an incredible woman. You don't have to settle for being a second thought. Ridge should know that by now. If he doesn't, maybe he isn't the one for you." As he spoke, he brushed a stray strand of her hair behind her ear, his hand lingering near her face. The moment felt intimate, almost electric, and Brooke couldn't help but look into his eyes, seeing the sincerity there. He'd always been a safe place for her in times of need, despite their complicated past. Just as their gaze held, the door opened, and in walked Taylor Hayes. She stopped in her tracks, her eyes narrowing as she took in the scene before her. From where she stood, it looked as though Brooke and Bill were on the verge of something more than just a friendly conversation. Bill's hand lingered near Brooke's face, and the tension was undeniable. Her heart skipped a beat, a flare of jealousy rising before she could stop it. "Am I interrupting something?" Taylor's voice was calm, but the accusation was clear. Brooke stepped back instinctively, caught off guard. "Taylor, it's not what it looks like. Bill and I were just talking." Taylor crossed her arms, looking between them with a knowing smile. "It didn't seem like you two were just talking, but I suppose I shouldn't be surprised." Bill raised his hands in a placating gesture. "Taylor, you're reading too much into this. I was comforting Brooke, that's all." Taylor's eyes narrowed as she took a step closer. "Comforting Brooke? Bill, I know you. I know how easy it is for you to find yourself in a compromising position when it comes to Brooke. And Brooke," she continued, turning her gaze to her, "I thought you were committed to Ridge, but every time I turn around, it seems you're with another man." Brooke's face flushed with indignation. "That's unfair, Taylor. Ridge and I are going through a rough patch, yes, but that doesn't give you the right to assume the worst about me." Taylor's smile was tight, almost bitter. "I know what I saw, and Ridge deserves to know too. I won't stand by and let you jeopardize everything we've all worked so hard to rebuild." The weight of Taylor's accusation hung heavy in the room. Brooke looked pleadingly at Bill, who stepped forward to defend her. "Taylor, this isn't fair to Brooke. You know she'd never betray Ridge, but maybe you need to ask yourself why you're so quick to assume the worst." Taylor's eyes flashed. "Because I've seen this pattern before. Brooke plays the victim, caught between Ridge and whoever else happens to be around, and it's exhausting to watch." Brooke, determined to regain control of the situation, lifted her chin. "Taylor, I'm tired of this narrative where I'm painted as the one to blame. I love Ridge, and no one wants our marriage to work more than I do. But your constant interference and suspicions are only making things harder." Taylor scoffed, folding her arms tighter across her chest. "Oh, please, it's easy for you to point fingers, Brooke. But remember, Ridge is only spending time with me because he feels he can't trust you." Brooke felt the sting of those words, but she held her ground. "I have never betrayed Ridge, and I won't stand here and let you paint me as if I have. I know you care about him, Taylor, but this bitterness, it's not helping anyone." The silence in the room was thick, both women's gazes locked, unyielding. Bill finally stepped in between them, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Ladies, this isn't the time or place to tear each other apart. Ridge needs to figure out his own path without this constant competition. Brooke, you should talk to him about where you stand. And Taylor," he looked at her intently, "you need to consider whether holding onto old resentments is worth the damage it's causing." Taylor exhaled slowly, her posture softening ever so slightly. "Maybe you're right, Bill, but don't expect me to back down easily. Ridge deserves someone who will be loyal to him, no matter what." With one last icy glance at Brooke, Taylor turned on her heel and walked out of the room, her heels echoing down the hall. The tension left in her wake was almost palpable. Brooke's shoulders slumped, and she let out a shaky breath. Bill placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, offering her a comforting smile. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. Brooke nodded, though her expression was weary. "Yes, but this isn't over. Taylor will run straight to Ridge, and who knows what she'll tell him. I need to find him first, to set the record straight." Bill looked at her with a protective expression. "Then let me come with you. You shouldn't have to face her accusations alone." She gave him a small, grateful smile. "Thank you, Bill. You've always been there for me when I need it most." He held her gaze for a moment longer, And then, with a supportive nod, they walked out of the office together, ready to face whatever storm Taylor was sure to bring their way. But as they walked side by side, Brooke couldn't help but wonder if Taylor's accusations, as misplaced as they were, held a glimmer of truth. Was she letting her heart become entangled with Bill's once more?